pose and see if I remember the journey into power sequence. So child's pose, spread out your fingers nice and wide, spread out your knees nice and wide, and let your hips settle back towards your heels. And take a few moments to let yourself settle in, regardless of what you had going on over the weekend or the rest of today, what you've got planned for the week. It's just you on your mat, moving with everybody in studio, everybody practicing at home, moving your body through space. So take a deep breath in together and fill yourself all the way up. And a big exhale out through your mouth. Another breath like that. Fill yourself up and empty it out. Last one, fill up together. Push the air out on the exhale. And start to create an ujjayi breath, that 4-part breath where you've got a long inhale and a pause at the top, and then a long exhale with a pause at the bottom to start to create a rhythm internally and externally. Nice loud breathing so everyone around you can start to sync up with the rhythm of the breath, and then we can start moving forward as a community together. Yeah, there it is. Downward facing dog. Keep working on the breath. Lift your hips up and back. Pedal the feet, shake out the head, all of that good stuff. Still building breath, building that awareness to pull yourself out of your brain and down into your body where things are happening. Yes, big, full breathing, louder than the heater, so there's a pulse in the space. Walk your feet up to your hands, hang in ragdoll. Round your spine up toward the ceiling so the low back is super expansive. Maybe even the middle of the back starts to get stretched. Press both of your feet straight into the floor. Rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Bring your thumbs to heart center. Set your intention for your practice. Pick one specific thing that you want to focus on. We'll send out those intentions with 3 big ohms. Deep breath in. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. High to low push up, press back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Push the air back out. Yeah, number 2, fill your lungs all the way up. Exhale them out. Last one. Empty completely. Move forward, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Stretch your body all the way to your fingertips. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. High to low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air out. Yes, 2 more like that. In. Get empty. Last one, fill up. Push all the air back out. Look forward and move. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Rise up. Look up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Step or jump back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 big breaths. In. Empty. Number 2. Thumbs down on your exhale. Good. Connect. 1 more. Exhale completely. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Stretch the sides of your body. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Low push up. Upward facing. Press the ground away. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty. Breathe in. Exhale. Last one. Fill up. Empty to the pit of your belly. Jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold down. One more, sun A. Rise up to standing. Look up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Get each fingertip in the mat. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breath in. Empty it out. Breath in. More air in. Push the air out. Yeah, one more. Empty completely. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose for one breath. Sit and reach. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Keep that breath going moment by moment. Inhale up. Exhale down. Right side warrior one. Take a step. Breathe in as you reach up. Chaturanga on your exhale. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side warrior one. Step, press, look up. Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale down. Full breath in together. Empty it out. Keep that rhythm. Breathe in. Breathe out. You're clearing new space. One more. Empty completely. On empty, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Way back. Sit. Fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Fill up and up dog. Exhale and down dog. Right side warrior one. Step into it. Stretch all the way up. Low push up. You got it. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left side warrior one. Step. Anchor your feet. Low push up. Big breath in up dog. Fill. Let it out and down dog. 3 breaths. In. Empty. Yeah. Breathe in. Clear it out. Eyes on one spot. One more. Get all the way empty. Move forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one on the right. Take a deeper lunge in your front leg this time. Yes. Low push up. Nice and deep. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Same. Deep lunge. Knee over ankle. Good. Chaturanga. Hands to the floor. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale. Steady and rhythmic. 2 more. In. Empty. Last one. Exhale to empty. Spring forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Chair pose. Further back in your heels and hips. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one right side. Step and plug in your big toe mounds. Low push up. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left side. Step it through. Wake up your fingertips at the top. Yes. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. The energy's percolating in here. I can feel it. Everyone's like, okay, kind of sticking with the breath. Kind of need to take a breath through the mouth. Go ahead and do that. One more breath together. Clear it out. Move forward. Last sun B. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Deepest one yet. Fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one on the right. Step and lift your chest way up to the ceiling. Low push up. Hands to the mat. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step it through. Lift and stretch all the way up. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Yes. Settle into your fingertips, into your toes, and send your right leg straight up and back. Bend your knee and open your hip. Stay here or flip your dog. Go all the way over. Come back into the steady breath, that 4-part breath. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. Make it on purpose, and that builds the stamina you need to go all the way to the end of the practice. Flip back over, side plank. Right hand down, left hand up to the sky. 4-part breathing. Even with your heart speeding up or the breath seemingly shorter, can you slow it down and make it 4 parts? Flex your ankles. Yeah, one more breath. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Woo! Send your left leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, open your hip. Stay or flip. Make the adjustments you need to make. Both of your feet straight on 12 o'clock. Make them point straight back behind you if you're in the flip dog. Gaze set on one spot, whether you're in three-legged or flip. Flip back over, side plank. Let the heart beat and the blood pump around your body, and still the breath is that 4 parts. Now wake up your fingertips and send them up to the ceiling. Yes. One more breath here. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Fill. Downward facing dog. Empty. Take a big breath in. Exhale it out. 2 more. In. Exhale. Last one. Clear it out. Right side crescent lunge. Keep the breath flowing. A big step forward, then up on the ball mound of your back foot. So each toe all on the floor, the heel straight up to the ceiling. How's your breathing? It got a little quiet. And that's fine. You notice that, and okay, back to the 4 parts. Hands up to the ceiling if they're not there already. Use your fingertips to stretch and pull the sides of your body higher up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Keep all of that space. Hands to heart center. Twist right. Keep the space. Keep the length. Palms can stay together, or you can stretch your arms apart. Your choice. Big sea of breath the whole time. So I wouldn't be able to know if this pose is super challenging for you, or if this is one of your favorite ones because it's easier for you because the breath stays the same. Take one more inhale together here. Stay for the exhale. Twist all the way out. Then warrior 2. Face the other way. Up and around. Resettle your feet. A deep lunge in your front leg. Take extended side angle. Drop the front elbow to your thigh or fingertips down by your front arch. How's your breathing here? You can stick with the arm reaching up and over, or you can tuck it behind your back for a half bind. Stay low in that front leg. Knee over ankle so you can root the center of your front heel into the ground. Beautiful. One more breath. Chaturanga on the exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take one breath in. Empty it out. Left side crescent lunge. Step through, get situated. If you find that your balance is a little bit challenging this evening, you can take your feet a little wider left to right and give yourself more surface area to work with. Then hands up to the ceiling. The fingertips pull your arms pull the sides of your body. Super long line across the sides of your body. Hands to heart, twist left. Palms touch or palms apart. Then once you've got the shape of the thing figured out, back to the breathing. Steady and rhythmic. So if the person next to you knows that this pose is challenging for them, your breath can help pull them back into their body and into what's happening here and now. Last breath in. Complete the exhale. Twist. Warrior 2. Building up that heat, building a fire. Get down into your feet, into your legs, and then squeeze your leg muscles into your leg bones. Especially on the back leg where we tend to forget about things because you're not looking at that leg. Squeeze your back leg muscles into the leg bones. Then extended side angle. Nothing changes about the back leg. Still super powerful. The outer edge of your back foot pressed into the floor. Go for the bind if you took that on the opposite side. Back into the breathing. If nothing else, at least the 4-part breath. Beautiful. Now soften your toes on your front foot. Yeah, there you go. One more breath here. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Sigh it out. Yeah, much needed. Breathe in and clear it. One more. Empty completely. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose and stay. Down into it. Start building the breath here. Favorite pose or least favorite pose? Build the breath anyway. Hands to heart, twist right. Open your arms. Nice. Now, a few of you can sit a couple inches deeper in your hips. Yeah, so your heart is higher than your hips. It makes it easier to twist that way. Stay here and breathe for 5, 4, 3. Wake up your toes. 2, 1. Chair pose. Fold. Take your first 2 fingers around your big toes. You can take a mini halfway lift if you want to lengthen out your spine and then draw your chest to your shins. Maybe a head shake or swaying side to side might feel good. Yeah. Letting that heat permeate every single nook and cranny in your body. Release the hands, heel toe the feet back together. Squat down for chair pose. Down and back into it so the toes can be light and the heels can sink down further. Hands to heart, twist left. Open your arms. And if you need to sit the hips lower, lift the chest higher, make those adjustments. Yeah, there you go. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair, fold. Step on your palms this time for gorilla. Toes all the way up to your wrists. In every single pose, you have the opportunity to reset the breath. If it gets away from you, it gets short, you need to breathe out through your mouth. All of that can happen, and then you choose to come back. You choose to stay in the room or stay on your mat at home and let the breath flow. Release your hands. Take crow pose from the head of your mat. You can take any variation of crow you'd like to take. So that could look like fingers spread out wide and feet are still on the floor. Could be one foot or both off the ground. You could even take the pose on your back if this is too much strain on your wrists. All right, everybody, eyes on one spot, right in front of your fingertips. Drishti. One more breath. Step or jump back, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Clear it out. Breathe in. Exhale. Last one. Empty it out. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Rise to stand. Eagle pose, right side. Right arm under, right leg over. Breath has been awesome all practice, so keep that flowing while you do the balancing poses in whatever variation they need to be. More important to keep the rhythm of the breath and let there be a sense of flow to it than have the quote unquote perfect variation of the pose. Switch sides, left side eagle. Because it's a practice, right? It's not like you're going to get to the perfect version of the pose and then, okay, that one's done. I can move on to the next pose. Let that piece go and work on the breath instead. Right side eagle, second set. You saw what that looked like just a moment ago. Choose one specific thing that you're going to adjust on this side. Could be softening the toes on your bottom foot or lifting your elbows a little higher off your chest. Just a small adjustment that will change the pose. Switch sides, left side eagle. Last one. The energy in the room has shifted from like, okay, we're percolating and there's a lot of stuff kind of burning off right on the surface, and now we're more focused, dialed in, seeing what there is to see. Standing leg raise, right side. Grab your right raised knee or your extended right foot. You can certainly use a strap or a towel around your foot as well. It's super helpful. And stand up tall here in center. Eyes on one spot. Yeah, you wobble. Cool. Stick with it. You put your foot down. No big deal. Pick it back up. Take it out to the side. Shift your gaze over your fingertips to the left. Steady breathing the whole way. Come back to center. Nice and controlled. Airplane. Press your foot straight back. Reach your arms back behind you. The lightness in the airplane comes from an integrated core. So pull the pit of your belly in and up. Yes, just like that. So it hugs the front of your spine. Keep that space hugged in. Take half moon. Left hand down, right arm up. It can certainly be on a block or on a water bottle. Eyes glued to one spot to help you keep the balance. Beautiful. One more breath. Stretch. Feet to the floor. Rise up to standing. Standing leg raise left side. Grab the knee, grab the foot. And pause in the center. This is one of the poses for me where I'm like, cool, I need to open my leg immediately because I hate staying right here. It's really challenging for my hamstrings. Can you stay? Let it be a little uncomfortable and choose to stay. Open left, reach and look right. Could be a completely different pose. You're like, why is this pose so hard for me? And then you still choose to stay. My balance is off today, and I choose to stay. Come back to center. Airplane. Add more breath. Let the breath help integrate your core. Let the exhales pull the pit of your belly in and up and knit your front ribs into center. Nice stuff. Keep that integrated. Half moon. So really the big shift is just the hip opening up so your body can face the long edge of your mat. Everything else stays integrated, hugged into center line. Big inhale. Feet to the floor. Rise up to standing. Standing bow or dancer's pose, right side. Soft crease of your elbow faces out for standing bow, and then grab the inside of your ankle. Tip forward when you're ready. Eyes on one spot. The eyes act like a second foot, so you've got 2 points to connect and keep your balance. Big inhale together. Switch sides. Shake that off. Whatever it was or wasn't, already over. Left side. Soft crease of the elbow out, or take your strap for dancer. It's one of my favorite things about the pace of this style of yoga. Like, there's no time for you to make up a story about this, that, or it wasn't good or whatever. It's just, okay, we're already in the next pose. Eyes on one point. Right side, second set. Forces your brain to stay down in the present moment in your physical body where you're just doing one thing at a time. Whether that thing is a crazy handstand or you're just pausing to take a drink of water, you're just right here doing one thing at a time. Last breath. Switch. One more. You got it. Tip forward. Big, full breathing. Last inhale. Feet to the mat. Tree pose, right side. Foot can go anywhere on the inside of your leg, above or below your knee. Take your full expression of your tree pose. Cactus arms, arms overhead or behind your back. There's not a wrong answer, so you pick the one that works best. Soften your standing knee just a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of softness there to get into the inner edge of your standing foot going down into the ground. Switch sides, left side tree. Choose where you want to put your hands, your arms. And start tapping into the inner line of your standing leg by softening the knee and pressing the inner edge. Yeah, I can see these ankles are kind of shifting and they're not really sure about it. Just stick with it. That inner line will start to get more stable and stronger, so the wobbling is a little bit less. Last breath. Feet to the mat. Come up to the head of your mat if you're not already. Extended mountain. Reach up to the ceiling. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, step or jump. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side triangle. Step your right foot between your hands. A big step. Use the block or don't. Stretch out from the center of your body. Legs super long, arms super long. And everybody put your attention on your bottom side waist, the one that's closest to the floor. See if you can stretch it out from your hip crease all the way up to your armpit. Yeah, good adjustment. So some of you are shifting your hips back. Awesome. Or reaching the crown of your head further forward so the length goes in both directions. Nice, Amy. Add more breathing here now that you're in the full stretched out shape of the pose. Press into your feet, rise all the way up. Side facing wide leg fold. Turn your feet to the long edge of your mat and hinge forward. Hands down on the floor. You can walk your fingertips out in front and stretch from fingertips to tailbone. And if you're pretty close to getting your head on the floor, it's super easy for you to get the top of your head on the floor. Walk your feet closer together so you've got more room to stretch out your spine. Yeah, more space. Tailbones up to the ceiling as best you can. Press into your feet, rise up to standing. Namaste, front facing forward fold. Face the front edge of your mat. And take a bind behind your back, either hand to elbow or reverse namaste, whichever one works best for you. Hinge forward. Square your hips to the front edge of your mat, and if that feels super challenging, take your feet a little bit wider left to right so you've got more room to square your hips. Yeah, good adjustments. Little bit of softness in the front knee, whether you're in the split or in the namaste fold. Feet stay connected to the floor, twisting triangle. Left hand can go on a block. I like to use the block in this pose because it gives me extra room to twist. That's up to you. Bring it out to the long edge of your mat. Add breath from here. Even while there's a twist, there's plenty of room in your expansive chest, your upper back, to take deep, big breaths. You can stay right here in twisting triangle or shift forward to twisting half moon. You'll shift forward into your hand or the block and float the back leg up to the sky. Nice. One more breath. High to low push-up you go. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. One breath in. Clear it out. Left side triangle. Step through. Take up the space and go for expansion. Out all the way to the very tips of your fingers, the very edges of your feet. Create that length in your left side waist. The bottom side waist is the one that usually collapses when you're in triangle pose. So how can you make that longer? Yeah, a couple of you are experimenting with it too, and one makes it a little shorter. Okay, it's not that. Maybe it's this over here. Keep playing with it. Then when you've got the fullest expression in triangle, add more breath. So the breathing all on its own can help fully expand the pose by taking up all of the space inside your body. Press into the feet and rise up. Side facing wide leg fold with a bind at your low back. You can put a towel or a strap between your hands. And with your hands still in that bind, can you reach the crown of your head away from your tailbone? Just like you did a moment ago when you had your hands on the floor, create that line of stretch, crown of the head to the tail. Nice, Susan. You're literally pulling your vertebrae a little bit further apart in your spine, so you'll be taller after this pose. Release your hands down, rise up to standing. Namaste, front facing fold. You can take splits on the other side if you took that on the right. Bind behind your back, hinge forward. Square the hips. Like you're trying to close a pair of scissors. The left hip slides back, right hip slides forward. Nice adjustments. If you're ever in a point where you're like, I cannot square my hips any more than this, give yourself space somewhere else to get more space to square your hips. So that might look like you softening your knees a little bit or taking a wider or shorter stance. Twisting triangle. Keep the squareness of the hips. So that twist is really just in the middle of your body. From the pit of the belly up to the top of your neck. That's where you're twisting. Beautiful. Stay or twisting half moon. Twisting half moon needs a lot of pit of the belly integration to keep it light so you can lift the leg up and back. Yeah, Michelle, I like that. One more inhale. Chaturanga. Woo, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Clear it out. Breathe in together. Empty. Last one. Clear it all the way. Roll out to a high plank. Keep the breath going in your high plank. Press each fingertip down into the mat. Resist the floor. Resist your body coming closer to the floor. And slow as you can. You're resisting gravity on the way down. Slow as you can, lower to the mat. You can drop your knees if you need that. Woo! Nice and slow. I like it. When you get there, when Kristen gets there tomorrow, locust pose. Stretch your toes out behind you. You can have your hands bound at your low back or hands down by your hips. Palms face the floor. Breathe right here. While I've been away, I've been focusing a lot on doing the back bends, but spending like an extra 3 breaths in a back bend to see what becomes available there. Just an extra couple of breaths. How long can you get? How stretched out can you make your spine? Last breath. Lower down. Rock the hips left and right. Like you're here to build heat. The section's called igniting for a reason. Locust pose number 2. Rise up. You can choose the same arm variation or the different one. Rise up. Squeeze in towards center line. Think about it being a pose of endurance rather than I need to fire this up for 2 seconds and drop to the mat. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Crown to toes. Longer and longer. Lower down. Take it side to side. Yeah, way to stick with it. All right, floor bow. Bend your knees and grab your ankles. Endurance rather than explosive. The endurance of the heat. You've made all the room you need. Come up and away from the floor. That 4-part breath to maintain this smooth, cool as a cucumber space while you're taking the bigger back bends. Flex your ankles and spread your toes. Yeah, there you go. One more breath. Lift, lower down. Take the legs side to side. Floor bow, take 2. Rise up. Up and away. If all of the back bends had space and time around them so that you could think about the way you're moving your body through space here, the same way you would in a balance pose, same way you would in down dog. Time and space. Wake up the toes. Yes. Last breath. Lower down. Good. Side to side. Upward facing dog, a long stretch like a cat waking up, and it presses down and lengthens the whole body all the way through the center of your chest. Downward facing dog. Drop the knees, camel pose. Knees to the mat. You can tuck your toes or untuck them, whatever feels more stable of a base. Time and space. Lift the chest up to the ceiling, hands back on the heels. So I know for camel, a lot of people, you're like, oh yeah, I'll take lots of time in camel. So you're not actually in camel the whole time we're in camel. We'll take a few extra breaths once we're all in camel. Yeah, me too in this pose. And can you set your gaze and stay in the pose? No expectations, just let whatever comes up, come up. Beautiful. Squeeze your inner thighs together, make that happen. Good. Next inhale, slowly come up and out. Sit back on your heels, high hero. Eyes on one spot. If you get a little lightheaded or dizzy in camel, just sink the eyes into one spot. Camel number 2, rise up and back. This pose can feel really vulnerable because you're really pressing the front of your body forward. Your whole chest and your throat are wide open. The pose is like that for a reason. Stay and breathe. If you need to exhale through your mouth, like there's something that feels stuck, get it up and out of your system. Next inhale, rise up. High hero, sit back on your heels. Woo. All right, swing the legs down, come down onto your back for bridge pose. Same attention to detail in your bridge pose. Press your feet into the floor, draw yourself up and away from the mat. That long spine from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Yep, hands bound underneath you, cactus arms, whichever arm variation works best. Sink the center of your heels into the ground. Yes. Let the strength of the heels in the ground lift your hips a little bit higher. Good. Now squeeze your inner thighs together like there's an invisible block there. Maybe there is a block there right now. Hug in. Last breath. Lower down. Knees left and right. We're going to do 6 wheels, all with that same smooth, methodical movement. Tuck your fingertips under your shoulders. You can stick with bridge if that's a better fit. Press, lift, go. Wheel number 1. Eyes on one spot. Give yourself time to breathe. Rather than being panicked and I just have to push and force it. Okay, tuck your chin and come down. Yeah, cool as a cucumber, no problem. Breathe in, breathe out. Number 2, press or go. Bridge, wheel, up and away from the mat. Time to breathe. Space to fully express. Tuck the chin and come down. Good, breathe in together. Breath out. Number 3, press and go. You can alternate between the 2 poses. If the longer hold is like a lot of work and a lot for you, great. Just alternate. Tuck your chin and come down. Full breath. Big exhale. Press and go. Number 4, a bridge or a wheel. Time. So you can stretch the front side of your body and keep space in the back side of your body. Tuck the chin and lower. Breath in, breath out. Number 5, only 2 more. Press and go. You got it. You've done the work to get to these back bends so they can be big and full and expressive here. Stay right here. Fingertips and toes in the pose. 1 more. Lower down. Full breath. Big exhale. Last wheel, last bridge. Rise up. Stay up. Eyes locked for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Might need to do like a wrist shake thing or like something needs to happen. A little bit extra movement. Supta Baddha should feel like, oh, this is a relief after the back bends. Steady breath, 4 parts. Happy baby. Soles of the feet up to the sky. Can rock side to side. If you're going side to side, really commit to it. Like rock and tap your knee on one side and then over to the other. Even if, oh my gosh, you accidentally tap your neighbor. Yeah, like let yourself be okay with being a little bit closer to somebody too. Legs straight up in the air. Set up for scissor legs. Hands can be under your hips or behind your head. Slow, methodical movement. Lower that right leg to hover. Take a breath in. Switch the legs on the exhale. Good. Pause, reconnect, and switch on the exhale. Pause on the inhale, switch on the exhale. Good. Keep going for 20. 19. 18. 17. 16. 15. Good. 14. Keep pressing through the feet. 13. 12. 11. 10. Keep breathing. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. You got it. 2. 1. Legs straight up. If you need to reset, belly closer to the floor, shoulders back down on the floor, re-anchor, then lower both legs 30 degrees. Stay right here at 30 and breathe. Steady 4-part breath. Where do you need to integrate to make this particular pose sustainable? Everyone's favorite, lower 30 more, right in the middle. I know, it's higher or lower for a few of you, that's fine. Belly stays down, shoulders stay down, breathe right here. Squeeze into center to stabilize it. Good. Lower to hover. Lift your shoulders, look at your toes, and press through your feet and your toes. Legs back up, knees into your chest. Whew, it's different when that one's slow. Yogi bicycles, hands behind your head. Elbow to opposite knee. Go slower than you normally do. Whatever that means for you, slower than you normally do. So you have time to breathe. Nice. Some of you are going super slow. It gives your body the opportunity to stay in what's happening instead of panicking and hoping for it to be over. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees to chest. Hug them in. Rock up to boat pose. Rock up to boat, whatever variation of boat you want to take. Feet on the floor, hands behind the thighs, grabbing the toes, all the things. Steady breath here. It's another pose. It's like, okay, I'm just going to squeeze really hard until it's over. Steady breathing. Open the toes, wake them up. Yeah, one more breath. Downward facing dog. Awesome job. Down dog to right side half pigeon. Right knee to right wrist. Thigh parallel with the edge of your mat, regardless of how forward you bring the shin. And if you notice that you're leaning one side, like one hip is way closer to the floor than the other one, come back into the middle and try and even them out. Better to have them equal and not touching the floor than one touching and one hiked up in the air. How's your breathing here? Steady and rhythmic, purposeful. The energy shifts again. This part of the class, longer inhales, longer exhales. All of that work to get to a space where opening is possible. That buzzy energy that gets burned off in the sun salutations in the beginning of practice, completely different energy from this. This is deeper. This is more intentional. Double pigeon, stack one shin on top of the other. All kinds of variations with blocks or crossing the legs or having one leg out in front, so you choose the one that works for you. Tall spine, stay upright or fold forward. Steady breathing. Eyes focused. Super common for the brain to kind of creep in when you're holding poses longer. There's less movement to focus on. The brain's like, hey, I'm going to tell you something that doesn't matter right now. See if you can stay down in your body. And if the brain succeeds in telling you something that doesn't matter right now, that's cool. As soon as you notice that, you come back to here. Downward facing dog. Left side half pigeon. Knee to wrist. Set up your back leg as carefully as you do with your front leg, or if you're on your back, the foot that's touching the floor, set it up intentionally. So you're choosing how you place your foot, or if you tuck your toes, or how far out to the side it goes. Back into the breathing. Soak up that quality of opening, this clear space that you've created for yourself. Even if you have no specific intention to put into that space that you made, just holding this space is important. Doing your best to maintain that space in a container. Double pigeon, opposite leg on top. This could be your pose. I hope we skip that pose. Stay in it. For those of you that it's not that space, you're like, oh yeah, hips are wide open, I got this for days. See what you can do to increase the container of the pose instead of just kind of relaxing out into the flexibility of your joints and your ligaments. So that could look like you flexing your ankles so that you're leaving a footprint on the opposite walls in the space you're practicing. Could look like you're folding deeper forward, but your sit bones are still touching the floor. Always a way to dial it up and dial it down. Rise all the way up, untangle your legs, seated single leg extension. Right leg out, left heel in towards your right thigh. Tall spine to start. Fold over your leg. Point your toes up toward the ceiling. And while you've got those toes pointed up to the ceiling, can you press through the center of that heel, straight out and away from you? Switch sides. Toes to the ceiling. Heel straight forward. You're looking to create a long line of stretch in the backside of your body. So whether you have your face touching your shin or you can barely touch your shin with your fingertips, if the stretch is there, that's it. That's what you're going for. Seated forward fold, both legs straight out. You can keep a little or a lot of a bend in your knees for this one. Hinge forward. Toes to the ceiling. Press out through your big toe mounds, that space on your foot right below the big toe. Press that forward. Yes, that spot. You can play around with that too. Press to the big toes, see how that feels in your legs, and then let your feet go slack and see the difference between those two. Tabletop or reverse plank. Plant your palms behind your hips. Flat feet with bent knees for the tabletop. Long legs with toes pointed towards the floor for the plank. Heart up to the ceiling. Breathe here. Not a squeezing and resisting. Let the pose happen. Feet into the floor. Fingertips down into the floor. That tiny space in front of your shoulders. Stretch it out. Lower down. Fish pose. A block in between your shoulder blades or tuck your hands underneath your glutes until your elbows touch the floor. If you've got your hands tucked underneath you, but the top of your head isn't touching the ground, keep scooting the fingertips towards the front edge of your mat, maybe even under your thighs until the top of your head touches. Eyes stay open. See what you see. One more breath together. Long inhale. Big full exhale. Come down onto your back. Untuck the hands. Move the block. Inversion time. Waterfall with the legs in the air. Shoulder stand with your hands based on your low back. If you're working on handstands and headstands, now is the time. You've been working through most of class paying attention to, okay, what happens if I do this slower? What happens if I give myself time to do the 4-part breath in this pose? What's the result? Yeah, there's time to work and things might be a little bit wobbly, a little unstable, but there's no panic around that. It's just figuring it out piece by piece. Feet awake, toes awake, eyes glued to one spot. Headstands and handstands. You've got a breath or two, then child's pose to reset. Shoulder stands, make your way to plow. Long legs behind you and plow, and your hands can stay on your low back. Plow to deaf yogi. Bend your knees, hug them along the sides of your head. Let your spine round. Stretch your spine towards the front edge of your mat. Bone by bone, lower your back to the mat. Knees into your chest. Supine twist, drop the knees to the right. Twist and look left. How would this pose shift if you really let your body get heavy here in the twist. Heavy and grounded. Switch sides, supine twist the other way. Heavy bones. Supta Baddha Konasana. Back to center one last time. If you're in studio, you've got that cold eye towel at the head of your mat, or by your head on your mat, rather. Shavasana. All that work, let it settle into your body. Let the body settle onto the mat. You did everything you needed to do exactly how you needed to do it. One more breath in. Feel yourself up, up, up. Exhale it out. Let your entire body rest easy on your mat. Deepen your breath. Bring some movement back to your fingertips and your feet. Plant your feet on the floor, rock onto your right side. With your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. Let's finish practice together with 3 final ohms. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Thumb knuckles to forehead center. Thank you all so much. My first class back in 2023. Namaste. Hey, look, I can still teach yoga. Okay. If you guys have questions about the Access Love stuff that we've got going on this month, about programs, we've got the inversion workshop that's going on that Lisa Taylor's leading on March 4th. Whether you can stick a handstand or getting upside down terrifies you, that is the workshop to do because she will break it down step by step for you. So there's still space for that as well. Hopefully I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m.